So over the weekend, I got a phone call from a friend of mine. He had a specific question, and the question was basically this, and I thought it was a good question. And I figured it to be a good question for a lot of people. They probably have a lot of the same question. They probably want to know something similar. The question is, as is in the title of the video, can you basically heal yourself from narcissistic abuse, or do you need the help from a therapist? Okay. Now this is going, let me give some context here. For some people, the nature of their narcissistic abuse may have been a partner, like a significant other, ex-spouse, someone that they were married to. This can also qualify with borderline personality disorder, as people who have BPD or borderline, they have a tendency to be very, very similar in many, many ways in which they just cannot be satisfied, and they have a tendency to get very upset and tend to seriously attack the character of their partner and even children. So this also kind of goes for those who may have had a narcissistic, possibly borderline parent. And I frequently see, it's very, very common, you show me someone who is in a highly enmeshed situation, or this really strong codependent enmeshed situation with someone who's narcissistic or borderline, and it's highly likely that they had a parent that was kind of the same flavor. What I generally find, here's my theory on that, is because I could never satisfy the parent, because I could never make the parent happy or ever get validated from the parent, it's almost like there's a mechanism inside the brain that still needs that. It's like it has to get that need met. And so it almost seems to transfer to somebody else to seek to get that fulfilled for them. In other words, I could use my narcissistic parent, so now I found the narcissistic partner, and hopefully this time we will have success in that area. And so in the aftermath, if you have ever really had a strong influence of a narcissistic type, again, if I say narcissistic type, I'm usually talking about NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, or BPD, borderline personality disorder. I have some theories on that. I honestly believe that they are different manifestations of the same disorder. That's just my theory. I know that there is in need of some major, major overhaul in the DSM when it comes to personality disorders. But here you are in the aftermath, and it can seriously alter your life through this abuse. And what I almost always find every single time is that person seems to be forever changed, that their life altered, and often they inadvertently and unwittingly know, or unwittingly don't know, that they are still in many ways acting, behaving, and deciding, making decisions for themselves and their lives based on what happened with the narcissist in their life. It's almost like the narcissist continues to control them, even though the narcissist, the one that really did the damage, is gone, is completely out of their lives. They still limit themselves. Maybe they have trust issues. Maybe they just have major relationship issues. Maybe they are isolated as a result. Those types of things. They're unable to really, really trust and open up to people is a pretty common thing. And so again, this question came up with my friend where he's like, because, without disclosing too much, because he is actually a very private person. I've known this guy for years. I've probably known this guy for close to a decade now. I probably know more about him than just about anybody else that knows him. And he has given it to me in just tiny fragments here and there. He's just like piecemeal. But he's a great friend. He's a really good dude. But he called me just to kind of say, like, I'm having to confront this particular aspect of my life. Can I DIY? Can I do it yourself? Or does this require a therapist? Can a person, his question, the way that he phrased the question was basically this: can a person make the switch or the flip in their mind and decide, can they just change? Like someone who's smoked for 20 years, who's been a smoker, can they just, there are cases where people just go, I'm I don't want to smoke anymore. And they throw the cigarettes away and it's gone for good. I mean, those cases do exist. So that's sort of his question, right? Can a person make that switch in their mind and be different from that day on? Now, my take on that is sure. Yeah, I believe that they can. Is it likely? Probably not. It is unlikely, and here's why. There's usually a lot of behaviors that they engage in that they don't realize is associated with that psychological warped, that whole complex dynamic of being psychologically warped by a narcissist and how they think and how they act and how they treat you and what they do, right? And there's a big thing here where there are a lot of behaviors that are just tied to that psychological manipulation, and people don't realize it. For example, they may not do anything to try and better their own situation, like in a career or financially, because the narcissist in their lives always discouraged it and always put them down. And what I generally find is that people who have been on the receiving end of this narcissistic abuse, psychological abuse, they tend to be as invisible as possible because that became their survival mechanism. And that has continued throughout their lives. Even 10 years later, 20 years later, they continue to live in such a way that they're sort of invisible, where they don't want to stand out. They don't want to do anything special or exemplary or extraordinary because they don't want to stand out, because traditionally that has led to the worst and most heinous and hateful things from the narcissist in their lives. And so they may not pursue future relationships because of it. They may not take good care of themselves. They may just be really isolated again. They may just sabotage themselves left and right and undermine themselves all the time, because that's basically how they were programmed and indoctrinated of sorts by the narcissist in their lives. And so to me, the value of a therapist is hopefully, if you get a good one, you get a qualified one that's experienced and understands a lot of these nuances, where it's like, well, why don't you be more social? And it's like, well, I don't trust people. Well, why don't you trust people? As long as you live in mistrust, you're going to also continue to enable that mechanism in your mind that was programmed in a negative way. And what I generally find is that people have a lot of blind spots. They have huge blind spots. And to me, the value of a good therapist is going to help you see a lot of those blind spots, okay? They are going to point out to you, like, hey, why don't you get out more? Why don't you advance your career? Why don't you ask for that promotion? Why don't you ask for that raise? I find, too, where it's like, I have a heinously hard time getting these people to even engage in any level of positive affirmation, even to the extent of saying, like, maybe I'm not so bad, because, oh, that's being arrogant, that's being narcissistic, that's being cocky. No, that's not. You've just been programmed that way. So my short answer to those who kind of want to do a DIY, like do-it-yourself deprogramming from narcissistic abuse, is you have to be extremely radical about it. You have to first identify your mental roadblocks. What keeps you from doing A through J things in your life? Well, it's not really my thing. Okay, why? You must be bold. Even with the therapist's help, you must be bold. You must be willing to step on some toes. But quite frankly, those toes that you're stepping on are usually in your head. In your mind, there's going to be huge backlash because that's how you've been indoctrinated. So it's a slow burn, too. It's a slow progress. It's a slow process is what I meant to say. You must buckle in, okay? Let's say that it takes, 5 years. It may take that before you really feel like you have really become more free. And start the clock now. But the more that you delay it, and you delay that clock, or you start that clock over by not being honest with yourself, by avoiding certain things, by not addressing your own mental roadblocks, by giving into that voice in your head that says, no, don't do that, that makes you bad. Okay? So honestly, if you want to do this yourself, if you want to DIY narcissistic abuse, you need to start digging psychologically. You need to learn about yourself. You need to dissect psychologically all the wrong messages that came to you and all the incorrect beliefs and attitudes that you may have developed over the years, the behaviors that are attached to it. Learn about narcissistic abuse. Engage with others online that have been in the same shoes and what they've done. You must step outside your comfort zones. It's a deep dive, folks. It's not an easy thing to do, and it takes time. It takes time and it takes courage, which to me is why it's just better to get a therapist. But that's my take on it. I kind of wanted to answer that question because I thought it was a good one. So thanks for watching. If you're new here, my name is Scott Carter. I am a licensed therapist. I specialize in a couple of different areas, and unfortunately one of them ended up being personality disorders. I just got to work learning about personality disorders out of curiosity, and it's kind of put me in a position where it's like I feel like I could provide a lot of good education, but it's a hard place to be because people want good answers. They want right answers. They want quick ones and easy ones, and they just don't exist. So anyways, thanks for watching. That's going to do it for this one.